There's a fine line between genius and stupid.
Yeah.
And honestly, the jury's still out. I'm not quite sure what side of that line I'm in.
Everybody calls it stupid until it works.
Right.
Then you're genius.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Welcome back to episode 2 of the Age of Abundance Golfcast. Today, I'm sitting down with Alejandro. He's the founder of The Tips Golf in Brickell, Miami. It's one of the most unique indoor golf experiences in South Florida. Before launching The Tips, Alejandro worked on Wall Street at Wells Fargo. Then he made the leap into entrepreneurship, risking everything to build a business centered around community, competition, and connection. In this conversation, we talk about the realities of entrepreneurship, why golf teaches some of life's most important lessons, and how to stay focused when things aren't going your way, and why human experiences may become even more valuable in a future powered by AI. If you ever thought about starting a business, improving your mindset, or simply becoming a better golfer and a better human, you're going to love this episode. Let's tee it up. And yes, this is an AI version of me. I'll see you guys on the other side.
All right, so what were you doing professionally before The Tips?
Before The Tips, I was a typical finance bro in New York City. I worked on the trading floor of Wells Fargo, and I sat on a team that lent large amounts of money to professional investment managers that focused on municipal bonds. Municipal bonds are just bonds issued by municipalities, which could be a school district, a hospital, a city, a state, that kind of thing, which obviously is quite different than running an indoor golf bar restaurant in Miami.
Very different. What makes it so different? Let's talk about that real quick.
Sure. I mean, I would say it's funny. Obviously, the fields are very different, but that's not what makes it so different, in my opinion.
Yeah.
When you're working at a company like Wells Fargo, right? It's a massive organization with an enormous amount of resources. So you get hired to do a job, and you get measured based on how well you perform that job.
Yeah.
Right, but you have people helping you from an IT side. You got people helping you from a legal, compliance, anything that you have a question that doesn't, any type of question you have that isn't specific to the job that you're doing.
Yeah.
There's always someone you can call. Hey, this isn't working, or hey, like I need some legal advice on this. All right, whereas in this world, in this crazy entrepreneurship world, there's no one you can ask. Well, that's not necessarily true. Now we've got AI. Which has been an enormous help. If it weren't for AI, I would have had to go spend a lot more money on lawyers, marketers, compliance people, etc. But still, right? Like you have to rely on yourself. There's not really anyone you can call. And that's what I would say is the biggest difference and the biggest challenge is, I think Elon Musk's, he has a quote, I can't remember exactly what it is. He said, entrepreneurship is like staring into the abyss while eating glass. I didn't understand what he meant, but now I get it.
And most people watching probably won't even understand because like you really like it's like you see some shit and you don't even know if it's gonna work or not. So the whole time you're going towards this thing that may not work and you're just getting kicked in the nuts over and over again.
Correct.
And with the hope that maybe one day it does work.
Correct.
So what was like your I guess the point in time when you're like, all right, me being able to optimize my own golf swing, analyzing data, and I want to create something around this. How did that all start?
It all started because I actually started playing golf at a relatively late age compared to most golfers. I started playing in my early mid-30s. And I caught the bug while I was living in New York. New York is filled with golf simulators. And that's where I really picked the game up. And my brain just works in kind of odd ways. I'm a very analytical, numbers-based guy.
Yeah.
And golf is one of those unique games, unique sports where the data and the analytics are really important. So that kind of drew me in. I also have this kind of insane perfectionist quality. When I find something that I like need to get good at it.
Yeah.
And golf's one of those games where you're never really gonna get good at it. It's like this eternal, never-ending quest for getting good, and it's just so hard.
Yeah.
So when you combine that aspect of the game with all the data and the analytics, I just
Yeah.
caught the bug hard, and I just became obsessed with it because I was always trying to achieve this, goal that's kind of never achievable.
Yeah.
And I was able to measure my progress through actual numbers.
Yeah.
And when I moved to Miami, I was excited to check out whatever, simulator was in town. And I was surprised to learn that there were none. So I was working on my game the way that most people do. They get a bucket of balls and you just kind of whack away at the range. My swing was getting worse. I didn't know why. I didn't have the data. And it just kind of occurred to me that a place like this with the TrackMan technology where you can see the data and the videos and everything, I think could really, I think there was a real need for it in a city like Miami, especially because Miami is such a golf-obsessed city.
Yeah.
And in a neighborhood like Brickell, where it's very dense, high rises, kind of feels a little bit like Manhattan, there's not that much accessible golf, and the golf that is accessible is either outrageously expensive and or impossible to get a good tee time.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the genesis behind it. I saw what I felt like was a real need, and I acted on it.
What did that entail? Like as far as like research, like did you like look at competition or?
Well, at the time there really wasn't any competition because there were no simulators in town.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of what did that look like? Well, number one was like, okay, am I crazy enough to do this? I did some research and I felt confident that there was a real need for this. So then the question was like, okay, where in Miami? Brickell has I think it's the second most dense neighborhood outside of Manhattan, I believe. Maybe don't quote me on that. But I mean, the point is it's very dense, tons of high-rise condos, tons of high-rise office buildings, and therefore a lot of people. So I said, if we do this, it has to be in Brickell because we have to make it a convenient place for people to access. Most of our members walk here from the office or they walk here from their home. So it's just like a all-in-one, one-stop shop where you got the golf, you got the lessons, you've got a bar, you've got a kitchen, right? So you can come in here really at any time of day to work on your swing, hang out, have a beer, eat a sandwich, whatever you want, right? But the key was it being convenient and accessible because golf, outdoor golf is not convenient or accessible for Brickell. And with the density and with Brickell being like the financial center of Miami, that just kind of made the most sense.
Yeah, your total addressable market here is huge.
Exactly.
And your competition is virtually zero.
Right.
So while building the tips, what scared you the most?
I guess a little bit of everything. We talked about how I came from a world where, I was getting a steady paycheck. Any resource I needed from the company was there at my disposal, just a phone call away.
Yeah.
So here I am, not only completely changing the industry that I'm working in, but I'm also sacrificing all those resources. Now I'm having to figure everything out on my own, and now it's my own money, right, that I'm putting at risk. So, when the website breaks or the dishwasher has a leak or the TrackMan's having issues, right?
Yeah.
There's no one really that I can call, I mean, I have to kind of figure it out myself. All while,
stressful.
all while, sacrificing all the, putting at risk all the capital that I'd earned over the years. So it's certainly, all of that is terrifying, right? But it's also quite rewarding when things are going well because, no one else can really take the credit. I mean, obviously we have a great team and they deserve a lot of the credit, but it feels good to see something that didn't exist, that now exists, experience success. It's just, it's much more fulfilling when it's done that way versus when you're, just kind of like a small part of a, smart cog in a huge wheel. Small cog in a big wheel.
Small cog in a big wheel. That's a funny way to put it. You're just a cost of good.
Right.
And it's like when you materialize it, you see it all come to life. It's like, shit, that was so worth it. But the whole time you're like doubting yourself sometimes, it creeps in. You start thinking like, dude, when I launched my first product, like there were so many moments where I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm not even making enough money, and I'm like, I have like, if you have a job, you're like, all right, I don't feel like going in today. Sarah could take care of the shit that I'm not gonna do today. You don't got that when you're just starting off. Like, no, if you don't feel like doing it, you got to do it.
Yeah, and I mean,
nobody else is gonna do it.
A wise man once said that there's a fine line between genius and stupid.
Yeah.
And honestly, the jury's still out. I'm not quite sure what side of that line I'm in.
Everybody calls it stupid until it works.
Right.
Then you're genius.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like the Elon Musk that you said earlier of like, because I've heard that one before, and it's like, especially with him, because he has such huge goals that he's working on, where like it can go years without even seeing a bit of progress. So it's like, how do you stay motivated? It's like chewing into the, like staring into the abyss and chewing on glass. That's how you stay motivated. But it's also like knowing, like you have this sense, like he has this sense of, I know space travel is going to be a thing. Everybody's going to want to do it. I know we're going to the age of abundance and robots are going to be doing everything. So like, I guess if you strongly, like I know if you build it, they will come. With something like this, everybody loves to golf. Who the fuck doesn't love golfing?
Right.
So looking back, it's been about a year, right, since you opened?
It'll be a year on June 27th, so we're getting there.
So last 11 months, what have been the biggest challenges?
The biggest, oh man, where do I start? I guess, naively, when I opened, or I decided to open this place, I thought I was opening a golf lounge, which, obviously there's some truth to that. But what I didn't realize was I'm also opening a restaurant, I'm opening a bar, I'm opening a membership club, I'm opening a golf academy, I'm opening an event space, right? There's so many different businesses within the business.
Yeah.
And none of them are, there's never a time where all of them are kind of running on all cylinders. There's always something going wrong, whether the dishwasher being broken, or whether whether business just dies for a month and you have there's no reason as to why, and then you're doing all the research. There's so many different things that oftentimes are unexplainable that go wrong.
Yeah.
That it's hard to prepare yourself for those kinds of challenges, especially when there's no one that you can really call and say, hey, why is this happening? You're kind of having to learn as you go.
Yeah. Do you have any like mentors that have helped you with business or just guidance?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that my a lot of the people that I worked with in the Wall Street world, they came, a lot of those guys were very successful. I have a couple of my former bosses, they're very experienced entrepreneurs. And it's not so much the business acumen, although while they have it for sure, it's more about the mindset, right? Like you have to be okay with failure, and the confidence in yourself to knowing that regardless of how no matter how well it works or how poorly it does, you have to have the confidence in yourself to know that it's going to be okay, and even if you do fail, it's not really a failure if you learn from that experience. Because as long as you're learning and getting better, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, there's no failures, lessons learned.
Lessons learned, right? Like Chumbawamba said, right? I get knocked down, but I get up again. So if you have the right mindset where you can, and you've seen it in real life. If you look at some of the most successful businessmen in history, from as recently as Steve Jobs getting pushed out of his company, or I think Thomas Edison was once looked at as one of the dumbest guy in the room, and no one thought he would succeed, right? So many of our best business leaders in the history of humanity have failed over and over and over again before they succeeded. So what separates them from those who just failed and that's it, you never heard of them? It's the mindset of looking at those failures, learning from them, and then getting up and saying, okay, how can I apply those learnings to the next stage of my life?
Yeah, that's such a powerful way to think about things, where it's like, if you see it like that, everything's a blessing. It's like bad day, good.
Right,
It's
right,
a
right,
good
right.
day, good.
Right.
It's just, it's all needed, yin and yang.
Right,
You need
right.
all of it. I think his name is Chris Williamson, the British guy.
Mm-hmm.
He has a podcast. I forgot who else it was. He asked him, you know, what's like the number one thing that made your podcast so successful? It was just not quitting. That's it. Just keep going. There's a lot of like instant gratification. Like people want to win fast, and the only way you build something like this is like it takes extended periods of times of just like hyper focusing on that one thing. So how was your focus? I know you told me you got married, you had a kid. Like how was that balancing all this?
There was no balance. It was pretty tough. If you're planning on having a baby and starting a business at the same time, maybe think again. Take it from me. But again, it was a learning lesson, right? And it built, I think, a lot of character for both my wife and I. So again, like, you know, now it's crazy because we opened in June, we had our baby in early September. So yeah, like September, October were a complete disaster, right? Like I wasn't sleeping, the business had just started, we weren't making money. It was just crazy. But it's looking back on it now, it's like, well, if I can handle that, look, I mean, I'm alive, right? My wife's doing great. We have a very healthy baby. The point is that when you're in the weeds in moments like that, it's hard to see the forest from the trees. But then once you get out of it and you look back, you're like, okay, if I can get through that, like what, you know, I can get through anything. So
you realize it was needed. It was needed for
in a
you
weird way.
Yeah, like it sharpened you up to just get stronger.
Yeah,
become stronger.
Again, it's a mindset thing for sure.
It's a mindset thing.
Yeah.
You got any like mindset mentors or people that you listen to a lot?
Honestly, my father was a big mentor of mine from a mindset standpoint. My grandfather as well. He went through a lot of trials and tribulations. But he was the type of person that no matter, so full disclosure, my grandfather's entire family was murdered in the Holocaust. He was from Poland, and then somehow, some way, he ended up moving to Mexico, starting a business on his own, and became wildly successful. But the success isn't what was the most impressive part about him. It was, again, the mindset, right? He had a million reasons to be angry at the world, but he was the nicest, most generous, always had a smile on his face kind of guy, right? So it's like when you see someone go through an experience that none of us could ever imagine, and then somehow still become the kind of person that he became, right? That in many ways it's the definition of a role model, right? Like that's how I hope to, that if I could just be half the guy that he was, right? Like, you know, I've dealt with some shit in life, but nothing like that, right? So it's like, if he could go through all that and still be as successful and kind and generous as he was, then why can't I be as successful and kind and generous as he was? And there's no reason that I can't.
Yeah. Unless if you tell yourself otherwise, that's it.
Yeah.
Just like the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves. And when shit gets hard, it's like you think back to those stories. Like my parents, they're both Cuban, came from a communist country. Like they left Cuba really young, scared as shit. Like there wasn't no cell phones or anything. It was just
they probably had nothing.
Yeah, they had nothing. And there's a lot of times I'm like stressing out or getting anxiety about something, overwhelmed, and it's like, dude, you're being a little bitch. Just like stop. Like your parents just like seriously,
Right.
And you're getting overwhelmed because of taxes or some shit.
Right.
Like it's okay. So what is one lesson that entrepreneurship taught you that also relates to golf?
That's a great question, and one that applies to me pretty closely, right? That success is not linear.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is, let's start with the golf, right? I'm sure you, and definitely me, and any golfer out there who's listening, has gone through periods where they're trying to get better at their game, but their game actually gets worse.
Yeah.
Right? It's like the 2 steps forward, 1 steps back kind of thing.
They're just like dancing.
Like success, your golf game doesn't go like, no matter how much work you put into it and how much you're practicing, like your success doesn't go like this.
Yeah.
It goes like this.
It's like a stock market.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. it's so you got to see the forest from the trees. You can't, if you just looked at the part where it's like this, you're gonna get deflated.
Yeah.
But if you look at the full tread line,
Yeah,
right?
you
if
zoom out.
If you zoom out,
and then you realize like when you zoom in, there's those yin and yangs.
Correct.
Oh, that's just part of the story.
right. So
Okay.
in golf, it can go from as you know, you can zoom out as much as your handicap or your general game and see how it goes up and down, or you could zoom in as much as to like a hole or even like a round,
Yeah.
right? Right, like you could have a round where your the first 3 holes you collapse, but then somehow you steady the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even on a particular hole, right? You could hit a driver into the trees and then you hit a great recovery shot and you still find a way to make par.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just like entrepreneurship, you can't let yourself get so caught up when things are going poorly.
Yeah.
And you gotta be confident that even worst case scenario, I mean, it's a good exercise I like to play sometimes, and it works in golf as well. It's like, okay, worst case scenario, let's say this whole thing failed. Okay, do I still have a roof over my head? Do I still have a great like family?
Could you still get a job in the same space you're in?
Right, or like, did I learn from the experience?
Yeah.
Did I become a better businessman, a better person?
Yeah.
Can I take those skills to then increase my odds of success on the next venture? 100%.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with golf, right? If you hit a bad shot, if you have a bad round, you can then, as long as you take the time to look back and say, okay, well, why was that shot bad? Or why was that round bad? Or why was this particular month of golf that I played bad? And then you can use that to improve your game for the next month or the next year, then it doesn't really matter.
So that just goes into like, just be logical. Be as logical as you can be, not emotional.
Which is much easier said than done. But yes.
Yes.
But that's 100% right.
I mean, I've been the guy, like when I first started playing golf, like I was the guy that probably threw a few clubs into the water. Like seriously, not to be funny or anything. I just,
No,
like,
I
I
get
was
it,
really
man.
that mad.
Yeah.
And I'm competitive. I grew up playing baseball and stuff. I had the baseball swing, so my ball was sliced like crazy. But what do you solve by being emotional and being frustrated?
Right.
You don't get closer to like what you're really trying to accomplish. All right, so when you do have a tough day in business, because we can't avoid them, it's gonna happen. How do you reset? How do you stay calm?
I don't, honestly, every day is different. Like you just said, you've thrown some clubs in the water, and I can't sit here and tell you that every time I've had a tough day that I've been able to go home and, just shake it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's just really experience, right? Even if you have a streak of bad days, eventually that streak's gonna end, right?
Yeah.
Nothing in life is permanent. And I think the more bad days you have, the more you realize that eventually those bad days are gonna turn into good days. So you don't let those bad days affect you as much because you have the experience to know that it's not gonna last forever and there will be some good days around the corner, right?
Yeah.
The night is always darkest before the dawn.
True.
So you just if all you experience your whole life were good days and then you had one bad day, you would lose your mind because you'd be like, oh, this has never happened before. What if I never get out of this,
Yeah.
right? Like, but if you've done it enough times, you have the confidence and the knowing that, okay, yeah, today sucked, tomorrow might suck, but it's just temporary and it's gonna get better.
Yeah, true.
Just like golf.
Just like golf,
Yeah.
man. Just like golf. I made a video about that recently where I was talking about like how golf is, like in my opinion, it's one of the best things you can do if you're dealing with like anxiety, depression, because when you have anxiety, you're thinking about the future. When you have depression, you're harping on the past. When you're playing golf, you can't be thinking too far ahead. You can't be thinking about the past hole. You just got to be present. You got to be present, and you can't stay too long in the present. You can't stay harping on anything in the present because you got people behind you. You got pace of play.
Right,
so
right,
like
right,
it kind
right.
of forces you to just like, yo, just take it one step at a time. It's okay. And
It's so mental, right?
Yeah.
And golf is the perfect example of how mental life can be, right? I mean, the perfect example with golf in terms of how mental it is, I can't tell you how many times I've gone to play a round and I went to warm up on the range
yeah,
and I couldn't stop shanking the ball, right? Like every single shot was a complete shank.
Yeah.
And then somehow ended up having one of the best rounds ever. But then conversely,
Vice versa.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the range. I'm flushing everything. I'm looking at my buddies. I'm like, it's gonna be a long day for you guys. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick all, you know, I'm gonna kick your ass. And then I get to the course, and it's like I've never hit a ball in my life.
Dude.
Like my swing did not change from the, you know, the 5 minutes that it took for me to get to the range to the first tee. But there's something about, you know, getting to the first tee, and now the shot actually matters.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's like you become a completely different player.
First tee jitters.
Right. The mind plays such a bigger. I mean, everyone knows how much the mind plays a role.
Yeah.
But I think even despite that, I think we still underestimate, or we don't give enough credit for how impactful the mind
It's
really
crazy.
is. Yeah.
I was watching something a couple days ago. Rory McIlroy, like he was like 12 years old, talking about like he's gonna be in the PGA. Like he knew it. Like, and that's how. I guess sometimes we trick ourselves too, because for example, when you're talking about going to the range and when you hit good, then you do shitty on the course, or vice versa. But you believing that happens is probably what causes it to
Right.
happen. So, for example, one of my buddies, Malone, we went golfing once, and he got a birdie on the first hole in Miami Beach, and I was like, damn, this guy's gonna crush it. And he was pissed. He was so mad. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, no, it's a kiss of death. Like, I'm gonna have the shittiest round now. You don't want a birdie on the first hole. And now every time I do something like that, same thing happens to me, because he passed me that.
put it in your
he
head.
puts that. Yeah, it's like, but it's crazy. We can change it. at
Yeah, I
any
mean,
moment.
that reminds me of another good quote. It's whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Is that Henry Ford?
Maybe. I don't
Maybe.
know.
One of those.
Some wise man
Or
said
Napoleon. Yeah, one of those guys.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you think we're entering a future of way more experiences, less isolation?
it. I hope so.
You bet on it.
I mean, yeah, I did, quite literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we want to talk about, you know, this age of abundance, artificial intelligence, I mean, I think we're at a very interesting point in time. Some people compare where we are with AI to like where the internet was in the late 90s. Other people compare AI to something much more impactful, like the invention of electricity, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard to say who will be right and who will be wrong, but it's obviously a transformative technology. And if it continues to improve in the way that it's been improving, then yeah, one could argue that, you know, your traditional office job is dead, right? Anything that you do on a computer no longer will be done by a human being if it plays out the way that some people are saying it's going to play out. So then the question is, okay, so what will people value most in that type of era? What can't you replace, right? Let's say, you know, robot revolution comes and they're doing everything. I mean, maybe one day it'll happen, but it's going to be a long time before you can, I think, replicate like a human-to-human type of interaction.
Yeah.
Maybe one day you'll be able to get there, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So I think those types of human-to-human interactions are what's going to end up becoming more and more valuable.
I agree.
Community, competition, sport, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like, I think people are far more interested in watching humans play against humans in sports than robots play against robots.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
we tried that. We tried. You remember Robot Wars?
I do remember
Comedy
Robot
Central.
Wars. I do remember Robot Wars. It was entertaining for a little bit.
Robot Wars or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't. Nobody cared.
Right.
So I agree with that, and I think a big problem, because you said a key word there, value, right? What is the value in the future? Like, how do we create value in the future? And like the majority of ways that value has been created up until recently is not going to be valuable in the future. And I think a lot of time, like I believe the biggest problem right now is a lot of people are valuing other people's decisions for their own lives. For example, like kids going to college to get a degree in a field that's probably not going to be around by the time they graduate, just because they value doing whatever their parents say.
Right.
And how important is it to like think about, you know, what do you value the most, and more importantly, like what does future version of you value the most?
Right.
And that's something like done a lot of thinking on, but I want to hear your take on that. Like, how do you think about the future? Is this like one of your only projects, or do you have other things that you're working on?
As of right now, this is all I'm really focused on. But I mean, I would love to. I would love to work more in this incredible world of AI that we're seeing, right? And even if, let's say, right, like obviously the advent of electricity was probably more impactful than the advent of the internet.
Yeah.
The advent of the internet was massive, right? Like our lives completely changed after the internet was invented. So even if you were to argue that, you know, let's say, you know, maybe some of these, I wouldn't call them AI haters, but let's say AI skeptics that are saying, no, it's not as impactful as the electricity. It's more like the you know, the invention of the internet. Well, that was probably, you know, if you look at the late 90s, if you really dove into the internet world and you went all into saying, hey, the internet is a revolutionary technology that's going to change the world, if you did that, you made out like a bandit, right? You did really, really well.
Yeah.
I think for the people who are going all in on that technology now, I think they're going to have at least as much success as the people who went all in on the internet did in the late 90s. Now, if it ends up being a bigger impact than the internet, like let's say electricity, then that means that your return on your investment will be even higher. So I'm always looking to ways, you know, obviously it's kind of funny to say, okay, I own a golf bar, right?
Yeah.
Like what can AI do for me? Well, there's a lot. Lead generation, right? Now there's so many different tools out there where you can go out and try to find people, okay, I'm solving a problem. How do I find the people that would like that, who have that same problem, right?
Yeah.
There's a million AI tools for that.
Yeah.
Marketing, obviously.
Yeah.
Marketing is changing by the day with all these new AI tools.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to go all in on AI as well.
I can picture like robotics around here, like robot servers.
That would be crazy.
That would be pretty dope.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, like with the
Imagine if
TrackMans,
they can even
the
swim.
TrackMans, you know, they've just recently started incorporating AI into their technology, and I can only imagine where it's going to go from there. Like right now, if I put a camera, which we have them by the way, put a camera here, hit a ball,
Yeah.
it'll record you with the TrackMan, and then it'll show you, it'll use AI to show you like all the different joints on your body. It'll show you your swing path. It'll show you all these different things, so you can get a visual look at what you're doing in your golf swing. And it's only a matter of time before it's not just a visual of what you're doing in your swing. There's no way that they don't start implementing some type of like AI coaching with the TrackMan, where they say, "Hey, this is what you're doing well. This is what you're doing
Yeah,
poorly."
it's just
And
not
I don't
a
want
matter of if, it's just a
I don't
matter
want
of
to scare
when.
the golf coaches out there, but you know, is there a world where AI and golf technology gets so good where they'll be able to diagnose your faults faster than a coach, and they'll be able to prescribe drills and fixes for you better than a coach? I mean, it's possible. I don't know. So I think just like in the late 90s when people were looking at the internet as a revolutionary technology, if we didn't know where it was going to go. Like no one in the late 90s could have ever foreseen a company like Uber, right?
Yeah.
But now in hindsight, it's like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
In the same way, there's so many opportunities in AI that we just haven't even considered, that we haven't even thought about.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many. It's infinite. It's
Infinite.
almost like overwhelming. Like it gives
is.
people analysis paralysis because there's so
100%.
much. Any last words to the audience, and where can they find you if they come? I don't know if you're offering anything. Or
Yeah, sure. We are offering a promotion right now. We'll give you a free hour of golf on us. There's a promo code, just round on us. Go to our website at thetipsgolf.com, click book a bay, and we're happy to offer you that promo. We are located, as we spoke earlier, in Brickell. We are a couple blocks west of the Brickell City Center. Our address is 115 Southwest 8th Street. You can find us on Instagram at thetips.golf. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the area, if you're a golfer, if you just want to come by and have a drink and check the place out, we'd love to host you.
All right, you heard it, folks. We'll see you on the next one.